Let's be honest, most resumes sound the same, and that's exactly why so many people are rejected. Everyone's told the same exact thing. Use bullet points, keep it to one page, be honest. And that's not bad advice, but it's the exact reason every resume blends in. And when everyone sticks to the same safe rules, recruiters can't differentiate between great and mediocre. Recruiters don't remember safe, they remember provable impact that didn't sound like the rest. When recruiting for my university's club, I read over 100 resumes and a clear pattern stood out to me. Clean formatting, decent experience, but nothing that stood out to me. There was no proof that they could actually make a difference. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 mistakes I saw over and over again, and the small tweaks you can make that will turn your resume into a clear yes to any recruiter. The resume you're looking at right now, that's mine. And the resume you're looking at now, that's also mine, except I stripped everything that made it great. I'm gonna go through and roast my own resume, fixing every single mistake I see appear on way too many applications. And by the end, we're gonna rebuild this resume into something I'd actually be proud to submit. Mistake number 1 is the most common yet easiest to avoid: writing your resume like a job application. Let's look at my first resume. Improved communication with client, led people during work tasks, and all products were compliant. If you just skim these lines, they don't seem half bad, but here's the truth. These bullets describe the role, not the impact. I'm basically just telling you what my job could have been responsible for, not what I actually accomplished. Top companies like Google and McKinsey train their candidates to write bullets using the impact formula: action, context, impact. Simple, but extremely effective to get your point across. Let's take that first one: improved communication with clients. So first, what was I actually doing? Not just improving, I built an Excel system to replace an outdated tracking platform. The context was the system enabled daily client reporting. And what changed? Well, communication lag went from 4 weeks to 24 hours. Same exact job, same exact person, but written in a way that demonstrates my impact. Here's a good test. If you got fired tomorrow and someone replaced you, what wouldn't get done as well? That's your impact. That's what you need to write down. It's exactly how you stop sounding like a job description and start sounding like a strong candidate. Now let's move on to mistake number 2: not sharing valuable metrics. And notice what I said there. I didn't just say numbers, I said valuable metrics, because I've seen this way too often. People just throw in numbers where they're not needed. It just ends up overcomplicated and bloated. I helped serve 300 customers. I worked 20 hours a week. I completed 100% of my assignments. All of these don't have real value to them. They don't prove your impact. They just confirm that you showed up. Now let's compare that to some metrics that actually make someone stop and think. Increased sales by 18% through the use of product bundling. Resolved 94% of tickets within 24 hours. These aren't plainly stated numbers. They're directly tied to outcomes that help the business. This shows growth, efficiency, and performance, all because of your direct impact. Even something as simple as in under 24 hours is able to elevate the work you did. It shows you know how to function in a time-constrained or pressured format. Now I know what you're thinking. Evan, I worked part-time at a smoothie shop. How am I supposed to get numbers? Well, here's the secret. Metrics are always there. You just have to know where to look. Zoom out and see what changed from when you entered the job to when you left. On screen, there are a bunch of different questions to ask yourself. My personal favorite one is, did I create or improve a new process? Because if you could point to a moment where something changed and it changed because of you, you're showing real impact. Let's say you worked in retail and you changed how online orders were processed. If it resulted in the company being faster, making more money, or being more efficient with their time, you didn't just work there. You changed their entire workflow. You didn't just show up to your job. You left it better than you found it. And that's what hiring managers care all about. Later in this video, I'm going to show you something that most people miss: how to make the sum of your parts sound better than its pieces. But first, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subs, which is my goal for the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching so far. Now let's quickly talk about something most people underestimate: the little things. Fonts, spacing, bullets, everything that everyone gets too annoyed to deal with. Now it sounds nitpicky, but I want you to take a quick look at this. Inconsistent fonts, messy alignments, random indentations, bolded words where they don't belong. But here's the thing: the alignment of your bullets won't get you hired, but it'll be the first reason you get rejected. It tells the hiring manager you don't sweat the details. You don't even care about the little things, like making sure everything's aligned. Now compare it to this. Same exact content, but structured, aligned, and easy to read. Hiring managers have a max of 10 to 20 seconds to look at your resume. You need it to be as simple and easy as possible for them to get through. Think of your resume like a product. If the packaging looks rushed, people hesitate, even if the product is great. If you want to sanity check your formatting, here's a quick checklist I use before I send any resume out. Consistent font size, aligned bullets, correct spacing, and bolding only when it actually matters. If you do those 4 things, you will make sure your formatting is great every single time. And now you've got a resume that's clean, readable, and actually proves your value. But here's the thing: none of that actually actually matters if your first impression with the recruiter is when they see you amongst 200 other resumes. Mistake number 4 is skipping the work before you apply. Building rapport. Because hiring isn't just about what's on paper, it's about the relationship and connection you built with the recruiters. If your name means something before they ever even look at your resume, you've already won half the battle before it even began. But still, most people fire off 100 applications a week, hoping that there's a chance they'll get lucky. And sure, you may get lucky on a cold application, but our goal is to make sure you maximize the time you spend. So instead, you need to find ways to get warm with the company you're applying at, and no, that doesn't mean you need an uncle who's in the C-suite. It means finding small, real ways to connect before you hit submit. Here's 3 different ways you can do that. 1. LinkedIn outreach. DM someone who works at the company you want to be at, preferably in the role or department you're applying for. 2. Company events. Info sessions, campus recruiting events, diversity inclusions, anything you could find, attend. Number 3. Mutual connections. Alumni, classmates, professors. It doesn't even have to be anyone you're super close with, just enough to get you an intro conversation. Now, once you find the who, you need to know the how. Let me show you 2 different examples. Hi, my name's Evan. I'm interested in your company. Do you have any internships coming up next summer? Hi, my name's Evan. I'm a sophomore at the University of Florida, and I saw you just transition into a new role recently. Do you have 10 to 20 minutes to talk about that transition and your experience at X company? The bad example, ask for a favor before you even introduce yourself. The good example is short, specific, and makes it easy to say yes. You're not asking for an opportunity, you're just starting a conversation. But here's the secret sauce and some of the best advice I was ever given about networking. Once you finish the call, ask the person if there's anyone else they know that you should speak to. This always gives you an opportunity to pivot to a new department in the company, a new role, or just build up your current status in that company. When that person sees you again in the pile of resumes, hopefully you're not an applicant. You're a person they talk to, you're a story, you're someone they believe in. And then your resume will be read with context, which is going to make every bullet point hit even harder, thus proving your impact even more. So you've built rapport, and now your resume is actually getting read all the way through. The final mistake I see so many people make is choosing what to put on there. Most people treat resumes like a trophy shelf. The more you can fit on there, the better it's gonna look. But oftentimes, that just overcomplicates things. 10 bullet points per job, 4 part-time gigs, and nothing relevant to the job you're actually applying for. Instead of coming off accomplished, you look unfocused. So instead, you need to tailor your resume to every single job you're applying for. The skills, results, and experiences should be directly tied to help you land this job. So one retail job with 3 bullets on customer service and leadership is gonna do you so much better than 3 different jobs with all unrelated information. Here's the question you can ask yourself to filter what's actually important. If I remove this bullet point, would the hiring manager still think I'm qualified? If the answer is yes, it's time for it to go. Replace it with something else that isn't already present on your resume. Remember, your resume has one job: to get you to the interview. It's not to prove yourself as busy, it's to show you're the best fit for the position. Just to make sure I can give you the most value out of this video, I want to quickly remind you of the 5 mistakes before you go away. Mistake number 1, writing your resume like a job description. Mistake number 2, not sharing valuable metrics. Mistake number 3, incorrect packaging. Mistake number 4, not building rapport. Mistake number 5, putting the wrong things on your resume. If you fix those 5 mistakes I saw over the 100 resumes I looked at, I will guarantee you're going to come off as a much more qualified applicant. But if you're still wondering on how to build your dream life, I have a video linked on one of these 2 sides. I go over the Japanese secret ikigai of how to build your dream life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.